Hey, I'm Sin, short for Synapse. Yixi, and today we're checking out Casual Geographic. This man loves animals, and today we get to see what he says about the most disrespectful job on Earth. This is my first time reacting, and I hope you treat me kind. I'm kinda dumb, and my setup is scuff.
So there's a lot of talk about man versus bear. Would you choose the man? Would you choose the bear? How about we talk about that time women chose
the gorilla we met today on his most famous reaction.
Shibani is a 27-year-old living in the Hiyashiyama Zoo in Nagoya, Japan, where his face card went viral and caused a direct increase in the number of female visitors. Call him George the way he had these women curious. Last name Clooney.
It's great when he yells.
Compared him to. Oh, and if you couldn't tell, Shibani's also a 400+ pound primate with a perpetual pump. Not only that, he's a loyal husband with 2 wives and children. That's a family man being lusted after.
It was a lot of fun making him scream.
Punky, heartthrob, metrosexual, spornosexual. I didn't even know what that meant. One article
He's
even
also
asked,
hilarious
would
as
you go
always.
for a romp in the jungle with Shibani? A sinful liaison, that's harambe. Had women hot and bothered, that's femme flambe. Call him Susan B. Anthony the way he had women showing up to the poll. Just kidding, real ones know gorillas ain't packing anything but a room. But yeah, Shibani's looks transcended the laws of nature, and if I had a nickel for every time a woman's feelings
She's
towards a gorilla
very
made
close.
I'd have 2 nickels. Which is too many more than I should have. One woman was a frequent visitor at the Diegaardebladorp Zoo in the Netherlands, and her favorite was a silverback named Bakido. Up to 4 times a week, she'd find him, make direct eye contact, and smile. I'm not even gonna explain how much of a gorilla middle finger
You would be very
Keepers
pleased.
tried to warn her, but she didn't listen. Her and Bakido, they had a connection. Oh, they connected all right. One day she smiled again and called him constipated because Bakido was not letting that shit slide. Bakido broke out and would proceed to put the beats on her like Afro music. And he jumped over a water-filled ditch to do it. Gorillas hate water. Keto was fed up.
She always is done. I could make fun of it for hours, but that wouldn't be proper at all.
He passed away in April of 2023. His get back on his biggest fan / op was immortalized as a word of the year. And the woman, who I originally felt bad for, apparently didn't get hit hard enough. So for y'all that don't know, my first aspiration in life was to be a zookeeper. I even had a state-of-the-art custom virtual simulator to prepare. Yeah, that dream flatlined pretty quick. For reasons. But this video
You are so sweet. Just give me all the zoo animals. My virtual hands can't even begin to imagine what it would be like.
Probably know nothing about. Like, what is the most dangerous animal in the zoo?
Of course you are correct.
The answer?
They'd likely not even appreciate the suffering and potential threat of extinction to a species.
Born Free USA has a database where you can look up incidents involving exotic animals in America. And if you search up animal attacks by any species in any state in an AZA accredited zoo, you'll see that the #1 culprit are big cats. Because out of 100,
do you have any experience with large predatory animals?
Or 38%. Elephants were second at just over 17%, but if Bakido proved anything, it's that a lot of them had it coming. Just probably why primates earned bronze in brutality at 14%. Reptiles like Komodo dragons and bears like pandas got just over 4% each. 9% were marine attacks by animals like orcas, dolphins, and stingrays, and the remaining 13%
would you prefer lion or leopard or tiger or something
other
different?
Being something like a kid falling into a rhino enclosure or a woman climbing into
9% marine creatures like orcas and sea lions?
Now take it with a grain of salt, because I thought for sure zebras would be up there, but they weren't even on the list. And I know for a fact at least a couple should. But these are attacks. I want to know what zooby's most likely to put a halo on my head. Well, in the same database, if you looked at every time a person got put on a shirt at a zoo, accredited or not, big cats did it over 40% of the time, with elephants at a hair under 30, and surprisingly, bears barely even scratched at less than 9%.
Average 40% of all vloggers had something traumatic to do with their own videos, or the vids they watch on a regular basis. The percentages seem to increase more rapidly as people spend more time losing them.
The lead at 47%. Big cats were the suspect.
What type of video did you want?
And bears weren't even on the board. So if you're a zookeeper at a zoo that actually has its stuff together, statistically, if there's any animal that erases you, it's gonna be an elephant. And if the zoo's suspect, best believe a big cat might be your downfall. But also remember, if it does happen, it'll probably be your fault or your co-workers. Now, if you work at a zoo long enough, eventually some animal's gonna escape, whether it's a minor inconvenience like a bunch of meerkats or a code red
you
that
asked
the
for
rights
my
and
help.
work on site like a
what exactly can I
chimpanzee.
offer?
It's gonna happen, and the best reaction is pro-action. So some zoos
But my
do
main
escape
specialty
animal
is connecting my
drills, but instead of
patrons to
actual
things
animals,
outside their circle.
Yeah. One Japanese zoo will have workers cosplaying as an animal taking a cue from Madagascar and breaking out. Thank God, because I'm not even going to tell you what I thought this was. What the hell? But it's a pretty harmless way to remind
So
everyone
the site
what
you're
to do when
searching
an
for has
animal
been
gets
offline
out.
for
That being
years.
said, this would
What
be
are
a
you searching
tragic time
for?
to not be sober at the zoo. What animal's the most likely to escape? In my non-professional online opinion, there's 2. If you want to test how good a spot is at keeping the animal in, you should probably hire the man of the forest. or the orangutan. Fu Manchu was an orang that nearly got an entire staff fired because there was a solid week where they would show up to work and the entire orangutan posse would be posted up outside. About a week was how long it took for them to realize that Fu had snagged a wire, hid it in his
If you
mouth
could
most of
order
the
me
day, and used
anything
to
from my
pick his enclosure
inventory,
lock when no one
what
was
would it
looking.
be?
And Ken Allen was a Harry Houdini who got out so many times that the zoo had to hire rock climbers to find every possible point of exit, because they didn't know how he got out and Ken for sure wasn't about to tell him. And what did he do with all this freedom? Well, when he wasn't wandering the zoo looking at animals like everyone else, he was pelting rocks at another orang named Otis, because even a 95% vegetarian can make room for beef. The other animal's the red panda. Do your homework on how hard it is to keep this red-faced raccoon in. A quick Google search will tell you that a red panda escape has made the news at least once in 1978, 2005, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2012, 2013, and you know what? Probably more. My favorite was red panda Rusty slipping out the Smithsonian and walking the streets of Washington, D.C. completely unbothered. So yeah, if your job's keeping a ninja panda or a Cheeto-flavored gorilla in check, you're gonna have a bad time. But some animals are a great time to work with. It's often not the ones you'd expect. Rhinos are legally blind trauma tanks that'll buck up to a butterfly. In a zoo, it's a 2-ton Labrador with the personality of a lapdog. And they put the zoo in zoomies. Turkey vultures are unironically like precocious toddlers that'll follow their favorite keeper around and play games with them. And cheetahs might just be the most people-proof predator of them all. In fact, almost too much for their own good. Cheetahs get treated like the doormat of the savannah, and their life doesn't become a cakewalk in captivity. Oftentimes, the overgrown house cat is too anxious to even think about making more cheetahs. So, some cheetahs get emotional support dogs. So the dogs are assigned to the cheetahs as cubs, and the idea is they become a bonded pair, with the cheetah seeing Fido as a role model to mirror and take social cues from. It's literal emotional support, because if the introvert cat sees that the dog isn't stressed or pressed, it allows them to chill out, or at least enough to motivate them to multiply without a calculator. And to make it even more wholesome, a lot of zoos like the one in San Diego will use dogs rescued from kill shelters. Definitely one of the top 5 animal friendships. And it's not even the only one in San Diego. This is Zari the zebra, also from the San Diego Zoo.
Where do these zebra dogs live?
Sophia. You see, Zari doesn't just live there. She's one of the ambassadors for the zoo, spreading smiles and awareness. But I'm also guessing you can't really have your ambassador around other zebras because, let's just say that might not be the best influence. So in comes Sophia, a miniature Mediterranean donkey and Zari's roommate and best friend. To say they're inseparable would be a massive understatement. And while I can't exactly tell you who's influencing who, just know Zari and Sophia give any cheetah dog duo a run for their money. Now, speaking of role models, have you seen this video of a panda struggling to break bamboo? Well, that's Meng-er, and he's not struggling. The story goes, he was hand-raised by humans his entire life, and while a 250-pound bear might have no problem snapping sticks, a weaker human will. So apparently years of watching his surrogates get humbled by a bamboo somehow taught him that that face is necessary to break it. You can even find videos where he breaks it, starts eating, realizes he forgot to struggle just to really continue. Pandas are a lot of things, and apparently Good as Simon Says is one of them. They're also by far the most expensive animal you'll see in a zoo. Any American zoo that wants a panda will have to pay a small annual leasing fee of up to $1 million, along with 600,000.
Pandas are adorable, so yes, I am aware.
To build their enclosures and the thousands spent feeding them, and the black and white bamboo bear is about 5 times more expensive than second place. And that's literally the biggest thing alive with legs. And best believe they know it, you might never meet a more high maintenance mammal. In 2014, the Chengdu research base set up a live stream so viewers could watch expecting mother, these names are killing me, Ai Hin bring another panda into the world. It was then cancelled after it was discovered she had faked her pregnancy. Somehow the same animal that got its brain nerfed by nature figured out that if they can play pregnant even after the hormones wear off, they can finesse preferential treatment. And they're not wrong, any future mother pandas
I think it's broken.
With AC, they get round-the-clock care and more fruits and bamboo. Quite frankly, I don't blame the bears for working smarter. But it gets even crazier. Did you know pandas can be bougie? Mei Lun and Mei Hun were 2 pandas born and raised in the Atlanta Zoo, but were sent back to China in 2019.
They are too expensive.
The only problem?
That's
they
cruel.
refused to eat any traditional Chinese meals, only American. They were not rocking with the
They should not eat meat then? I mean, meat tastes so good, but I have tried so much veal lately, maybe that tastes good too.
Japan's Akone En was used to feeding their residents aji, or Japanese horse mackerel. But thanks to inflation, they decided to cut costs by switching to a cheaper alternative, saba. And wouldn't you know, the penguin
Dude,
with
they
king
use
in its name
horse
was not
mackerel
about
instead?
eating like a peasant
It has
system,
more
and the
nutrients or
artist
something?
refused to substitute.
I don't really
You see,
know
that's
that
the part
stuff,
of
though.
zookeeping they don't tell you. All that time spent preparing fish, slaving away while the stench of your profession dents your social life, just for an uppity tuxedo.
Why doesn't she work right now? Why is her machine still plugged in? She uses this sometimes. She bought the 3-month supply and got them out in March, didn't she? Maybe it's out of stock now because it's summer, so she bought them again. Maybe there aren't many left.
Exist in zoos. Think about it. Think of all the zoos you've ever been to and try to see if you can come up with any notable absences. Okay, time's up. When's the last time you saw a moose in a zoo? For a lot of y'all, including me, probably never. You've probably seen bison, bears, bobcats, cougars. Y'all know I could speak on wolves, but no moose. Why?
Who the hell eats
Moose have
moose?
specific
They're
diets that build like
everywhere!
a tank and of course
It's
eat like one,
gross!
and really, you
And
can
they
do
don't sell that
everything right. They
either!
can still
The boy
pass
who
tests in
cheated,
a
what's
few
she
years.
touching?
And apparently
What the
feeding an
heck?
antler warrior
She
that
said
can't
they won't
even
send
survive
any
a
more of those
president's
things
term
in.
is a bad
They
investment. So
get
our
food
leopard
stamps
seals,
or
you'll
something
likely
or some
never see
weird
the
place.
alpaca feet in a
What
zoo.
happened?
Narwhals can literally
Is the
die
government
of social
fucking her over,
anxiety until
too?
they're out.
Is
Tarsiers
everyone
sometimes
fucking
seclude
over her, or die?
themselves in captivity, so
Fuck!
that's a no-go.
I wanna
And they
break
say
everything, but what's the
dietary
point of
restrictions
it?
are why proboscis
It's only
monkeys are
fucking
rare in
up.
zoos. I
And
call
so are we all
bullshit.
for
It's
still
definitely
working
'cause
and
schnoz might be the
continuing
most
life for
inappropriate
nothing.
animal to take your
We're
kids to
only
see.
continuing.
And yes, my head's here for a reason. I'm not about to catch an age restriction over an overexposed lipstick dispenser. Or they could just use fake animals, cause it's not like that hasn't happened before.
Yeah, right.
In 1987,
What
a zoo
happens
in
if
China
they
was
have
exposed
Bison
for
Bear
painting a sun
Mountain?
bear and
Fools
presenting it
would
as a
love that,
panda.
and all
That's
you
a
do is push
sun
us
bear, by
down
the way.
and feed us
In
garbage. We
2018,
want
a zoo
food.
in
Why
Cairo
shouldn't
did the
you?
same, except they had a
Fools,
donkey with a zebra
fashion.
face. 2013, and we're back in China, except this controversy was about their resident African lion. There's a lion. Did y'all even try? But by far,
Yes,
my
I
favorite
see my
counterfeit
made one,
creature
so
story
either
is-
show me what yours are,
These dogs
or
are
let me know why you need these to be
advertised
non-folks
as
like
panda
these.
dogs. They're just dogs, okay? According to Chinese state media, the zoo confirmed it dyed the dog's fur to look like pandas to fill in the blank of not having actual pandas.
You know, if I took time out of my day and spent my hard-earned money to go see a panda and got this, I'd probably go and spend more. Man, they got pandas from Temu. I can't even be mad. So obviously people are usually happy to see animals at zoos, but you ever wonder how the animals feel? Well, someone did, and a study from Nottingham Trent and Harper Adams University studied over 250 animals in zoos to see how their
It doesn't
behaviors
fucking
changed
matter
around
what they
human
are
company.
from.
Using hours of
Are we going to
observation and
just make
research,
up
they
the
found that
goddamn
animal
lame
most
trend
excited to
of
see
now
people at
wigging our
zoos, and
faces
I
over
really hope
nothing
this is
further
true,
than we can
were
spell?
elephants.
No,
Elephants show the most
God-forsaken
positive
no.
reactions to large
Would you want
groups
us
of
to start
people,
practicing
becoming more
magical
active, more
efforts because it's
playful, and
interesting and
overall
whatever
seeming to have a
though?
better time when humans
Boom!
were around.
Just a
The
huge
other
giant
people happy
laugh of
animals
nothing at
included
all.
cheetahs, jaguars, penguins, grizzly bears, polar bears, a cow called a batang, servals, and black-tailed prairie dogs. And on the other side,
I
the
repeat,
animals that
of
seemed to
nothing.
like human company
We
the
will
least
ration your
were
pamphlet
hedgehogs,
sharing this if it
austriches,
currently is not.
marsupials like
If
kangaroos,
the ones with
ungulates like
an abundance
giraffes
of
and
incoming
antelopes,
flames,
and probably
pandas
most
for trick
random of
questions,
all,
and
the
magic
tuatara.
theory
They
that
have
says
3
the
eyes, and
unless must
apparently
come
none
first
of
to
them
get
wanna
there
see us.
first.
As for the
Yet
rest,
it's just
the vast
labeled as a
majority of
beardless
animals had
boy
no
in a trigger
reaction.
point
The
me.
study does raise an interesting question, and that's how the pandemic
We may take down
affected
prairie
zoo animals.
dogs.
Believe it or not, some animals actually started to miss people. The worldwide panoramic left elephants confused and disappointed, birds like kias and cockatoos missed the attention, and you even had apes like chimps actively looking for missing visitors. And while the shutdown gave us gems like penguins exploring empty aquariums, or a sea lion getting introduced to a tegu, by far the best story to come out was what happened in a Japanese aquarium. You see, the eels
I
in
know!
Tokyo Sumida
Just move
Aquarium
into your
were used to
underground
people,
world.
but the
Or in the
pandemonium
air.
turned them back people shy, and those same eels would now hide in the sand whenever a worker or
You
someone
will
would
use
walk
that,
past.
the human
The problem
connection,
is that
or
made it almost
whatnot,
impossible
for
to check
monetary
up on
gain
them,
in some
keep
sort
them
of
healthy.
product,
The
or
solution
show,
was the
or
aquarium
event.
asked people to FaceTime their eels to refamiliarize them with
What
people,
you
like
are?
some exposure
Eels?
therapy. There was a legitimate time where you could have gone on a date
There
with
are
an
eels?
antisocial eel, and the worldwide Panera brought a lot of bad, but this was definitely a bright spot. But now, zoos are back open, so here's some hacks to get the most out of your
Eels!
experience. Animals are going to be most active on cooler, cloudier days, and they usually peak as soon as the doors open. Also, you're going to want to aim for a random weekday, since the less crowded the better. Try it. If you can be there the next overcast 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, I swear you'll see a different zoo. And if you're a cat person, you might want to wear some Calvin Klein. No, seriously, the Klein is a favorite for cats of all kinds, from cheetahs to cougars, from lions to leopards. In fact, researchers have
Yes!
caught wild jaguars on camera by dousing the trap in obsession for men.
If I
So
have
next
to
time
do
you're at the
something
zoo
and I
live in
hate
big
it,
cat
I have to be
country,
on an eel's
go ahead
back.
and spritz some of the Klein and see what happens. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I imagine I'm gonna get a couple comments disappointing to me for not blasting zoos for 15 minutes, that I can't possibly care about animals if I still go to them. Here's my take. I've always said that zoos are capable of a lot of good and a lot of bad, but a lot of them are an invaluable resource for conservation conservation and awareness. And while I agree, there are some species that are just not built for zoos. A majority of them are there because they literally would be worse off in the wild. Przewalski's horse was basically halfway down the grave, but it was the work of zoos that helped bring them back from the brink. Same thing with the California condor, and about a dozen more. And Sparrowthopter zookeepers are overworked, underpaid, usually overqualified, and like I said, the smell isn't just something they leave at the office. Not all zoos are created equal, and it's at best lazy, and at worst almost dangerous to put them all in the same boat. But I'ma stop yapping, drink water, hug your mother, support your local zoo, just make sure it's accredited. Matter of fact, give a zookeeper a hug.
I'd
Who
love a
knows how much
snake.
they need it. And I'ma see y'all in the next one.
I'll say this as soon as I turn my back. Well, that was good casual Geographic. I learned so much today. Remember to like and comment, and give him a sub on the original. I'll have in the description or even a pinned comment below. Bye-bye, everyone.